And we're live, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome to a show about shows. Dutch, are you ready? Or do you want me to begin again?
I'm ready. You just go right ahead. I'm just playing around over here.
This is episode number 80. 80, Dutch. 80. I call this one the Lost Clumps because today we're talking about our boy Eddie Murphy. And we're not only reviewing his most recent film coming to America, but we're going to talk about our least favorite Eddie Murphy films that we've all seen. I'm interested to see what our guests have to say here today. I was JPO George McShones, my co-host as always, Dutch McAllister. Dutch, how you doing, my crush brother?
I'm doing pretty well this evening, sir. I'm probably just ruining the hell out of our notes, but I'm just trying to fill the gap. There's a gap in there, and it just bothers me. I'm a little anal with notes, but no, I'm doing well. How about yourself? I noticed we have a guest. Did you already introduce him, or was I too busy messing with the notes?
No, if you paid attention, I introduced you first, then you introduced the guest. Introduce him. You've
Oh,
seen him on the show before, ladies and gentlemen. And if you watch our trivia show, he is the current reigning defending champion. You know him also from Mesa Media. Steve Mesa, everybody.
Hey,
What an intro, Steve. Calm
yeah, I
down.
know. Sorry, I can't control myself sometimes. When I have nothing much to say, don't say anything at all. You know the old adverb there.
Well, we do have a lot to say tonight, folks. Tuck in your kids, drink a 5 hour energy because we got movie reviews. We're talking TV. We're talking Ed Murphy. We're talking Oscars. We'll do some Oscar predictions. Steve was want to talk about that, so we're going to talk some Oscars with Steve, some news and notes, and also we'll have Dutch's Poetry Corner.
yeah, I love poetry, and I'm going to read you some good ones tonight.
All right, so who wants to do the first review? Me or you, Dutch? Who's setting up this America sequel?
You go ahead and do it, sir. I'll let you do it.
First of all, we got to talk about it. It just dropped on Amazon Prime a few days ago. It's coming to America. Get it too?
Yeah, I got it.
A male heir to the throne. Prince Azim returns to Queens to find his long lost son and bring him back to Zamunda. This stars Eddie Murphy, Arsenio Hall, Wesley Snipes, Jermaine Fowler, Leslie Jones, and Tracy Morgan.
There's a lot of others, but I just got tired of typing. You know.
As I say, definitely for sure. Amongst several others here, you'll see some familiar faces from the OG, as well as some new faces from nowadays as well here. So, I'll start off here, man. I recently rewatched Coming to America. I really enjoyed it as much as I always have. I feel like me and Dutch were always on the same page as far as the trailer, when the trailer didn't really win me over, but I had hopes, and I don't hate it like a lot of people here, but yes, there's a lot of retread here. They're even showing several clips from the first one in this movie, and then they're just redoing lines, and it's literally like, oh, it's that character just to be that character here. So I think there's some moments here that show some brightness. I mean, it's from the same director as My Name Is Dolomite. So there's some moments here. I liked Fowler. Um, I enjoyed seeing Arsenio Hall back on the screen as well. That was, I think, a nice little return. But yeah, there's just not a hell of a lot for this offer, but it's not that bad, I don't think. What do you think, Dutch?
It was I think a bloated effort. Really, I'm not trashing the film. I'm just saying they tried to fit too many wink, wink, nudges in the film, which some worked, some fell flat completely. I kept wondering throughout the whole thing, are we going to see Eric LaSalle's character? I'm disappointed that he decided to say no to the part because they actually had a joke written for him and about Soul Glow and him losing his hair to Soul Glow or something like that, but he said no, he wasn't going to do it. But yeah, I just thought that it could have been a little bit more developed. It seemed a little rushed in the beginning, hey, Akeem, you have your son, go find him in New York, but there was really no real, threat or feel of a threat from, say, a Wesley Snipes. Because anytime he entered the room, he was jitterbugging and having a good time. But at the same time, I just didn't feel anything. And if you saw in the preview where he was shooting pictures and of Akeem, I think it would have made you feel a little bit more like he has more power than he shows. But yeah, I did like some of the trips down memory lane. You brought up the joke to me beforehand, but you said there's a Benson joke in there, and I enjoyed it. But I don't know how many people, who ran to their phones or whatever saying, Benson, what the hell's Benson? You know?
If I hadn't done the show with you and you hadn't mentioned it twice in the last month, I wouldn't know what the hell he was talking about.
Yeah, and of course I'm binging the old 79 to I believe 84 film show of Benson, maybe 86. But yeah, I at the end of the day though, I think it kind of fell flat in some spots. It's watchable. There was a time or two that I giggled, but other than that, it just was too much. They were trying too hard to appease and bring back memories of the old, and I just didn't really pay much mind. I teased you when I first saw you this past weekend when I was going to tell you what it was, but a 2.5 is what I settled on.
Don't jump the gun there. We have 3 people here this week, Dutch.
Oh yes, I apologize.
Have you seen this movie, Steve?
I have not.
Never mind, you can jump the gun. So 2.5, Dutch.
Yeah, two. I apologize, Steve, if you did see it though, but no, it is watchable. It's 2.5. You'll get some kicks out of some of the scenes, but I didn't like the rehashing of the old part, and then of course making Eddie Murphy look young again is flashbacks. But
I will say this: as much as I don't love the retread, I guess I do feel how they felt they had to do it. He looked great. The CGI did look fantastic of him making him look young. I just didn't care for it. I thought I just didn't. I know they had to do what they had to do. Also, too, you're kind of knocking Snipes. I think Snipes is one of the best parts of this movie. Snipes is very funny. I would want more of that character.
Well, no, that's what I said. I wanted to see something more of a threat. I wasn't knocking him at all. I'm just saying the character that they made him out to be was not as threatening.
I know.
So
is that he wants peace, and then the girls just kind of beat him up in the end. But in a weird way, I don't know if I would want to change it because he's one of the best parts of the movie. So it's hard for me to say let's change that when he's one of the best parts. I'm with you though. It's a 2.5. There is some sweetness into it. There is some chuckles, but it's a lot of a retread, and there's also some missteps as well. So that can't get me any higher. But 2.5 for Coming to America.
Okay, the next film we gotta cover goes over to the new Paramount Plus network. This was brought to you. It was delayed, showed overseas, but delayed in the United States until this launch. It is the SpongeBob movie, Sponge on the Run. When SpongeBob SquarePants' beloved pet snail Gary goes missing, apathic clues lead SpongeBob and his best friend Patrick to the powerful King Poseidon, who has Gary held captive in the lost city of Atlantic City. This has Keanu Reeves, Snoop Dogg, Danny Trejo, Aquafina, Tom Kenny, Matt Berry, Clancy Brown, Bill Fabregat, Roger Bumpus, and Doug Lawrence. And I know that's a lot, but I needed to nail most of the cast that was there from the original voices. I found this an amusing film. I really did. It's so beautiful in 4K, and it's just it's just a fun rehash. If you've seen SpongeBob in the past, he's lost Gary a few times, but this one is a different spin on it. And but I enjoyed it. Patrick is still as stupid as always, but he's always been my favorite. That's my icon on the Paramount profile. And I enjoyed it. Like I said, Keanu Reeves part as the sage, technically a sagebrush, and he's in it throughout. Even the little musical number with Snoop Dogg was pretty good, and Danny Trejo as one of the villains as well. I enjoyed that. So all in all, I thought this was a good hit. We'll talk a little bit more about SpongeBob later on in the show, in the television area, where I do have a few gripes about that. But this one, I found it a magical experience, and I just loved it, and there was no reason to hate it at all. Oh, you're chomping at the bit on this one, Jordan. What do you got for me?
No. I'm not chopping at the bit. I'm maybe a little bit less than you on this one, but I'm pretty much with you here. This is a lot better than Tom and Jerry. Not to hate on that movie, but at least this does something. It's fun to look at. You like these characters. I think you can possibly meeting them for the first time, so I think it works on that level. And if you love them for years, you continue to just love them here. It does look great. It's obviously a different animation from the cartoon series that I've grown up on, but it looks really nice. I actually really forgot about the old animation, so I went with that as well. As you said, though, we have seen the Gary story several times, and even King Neptune, I feel like, has been pulled out, including the movie versions out already too. But
this version of King Neptune, I enjoyed.
Yeah, no, it's fine. It's probably the last Neptune that I remember. But yeah, I enjoyed Keanu Reeves as the Sage here. They do some wacky stuff. All of a sudden, Snoop Dogg is singing, and Danny Trejo's in it for 30 seconds. I don't know if that totally worked for me, but it's a road trip movie. They're gonna throw a lot of stuff out at you. So, and there's some heart here too. I did like really the overall message in the end here. Kind of like Trolls, like, hey man, I'm not gonna fight it. It's a kids movie and it has a good message, a way better message than Tom and Jerry. Not to hate on that again, but I liked it. Steve, did you see this?
No.
Steve gives it 5 stars. I'm giving it 3. What you giving it?
I gave it 4. I really enjoyed it. Like I said, it's just a fun romp, and it just has a lot of. It's just so much fun. It's better than the David. It kind of reminded me of David Hasselhoff in the other SpongeBob movie where they used him.
Yeah, they always have a wacky celebrity as themselves, kind of, or not as, but in real life.
Yeah, so I thought that was, it's a harken back to that area. But yeah, I just love, like I said, it's just a fun film, and kids will enjoy this a lot.
Yes, my niece enjoyed it as well, and I haven't seen Camp Crowley. We'll be talking about later, but she watched it, I think. So we're jumping more platforms now. We've jumped from we were on Paramount before that. We're on Amazon Prime. Let's go over to the Hulu section now. That's what movies are nowadays, folks. It's no longer theaters; it's jumping platforms and apps. This one's Boss Level. A retired special forces officer is trapped in a never-ending loop of the day of his life. This stars Frank Grillo, Mel Gibson, Naomi Watts, Will Sasso, and Ken Jeong. Steve, have you seen this?
No.
All right, so I'll be the only one talking about this one.
Absolutely.
Hey, Hulu seems to be marketing, getting the corner on the time loop market because I think we all really enjoyed Palm Springs from last year. And
Joy.
Yeah, he saw Palm Springs.
There you go. I'm caught up with most of the 2020 movies, so yeah.
And started watching 2021 movies. What we're talking about now.
Well, I've seen one, and we haven't mentioned HBO Max yet, so.
Hold on, we'll get there.
Yeah, okay.
Boss Level, cornering the market, time loop. I feel like I'm time looping this whole review all over again.
I feel like you're time looping this review all over again too.
I hate you, Steve. I hate you so much.
I think I've seen this before.
So Boss Level, time mark.
Deja vu?
All right, I'm literally going to murder you both. I really like this a lot, basically, is what I'm trying to get at. It's fun from the get-go here. Frank Grillo, who I thought have always been a really interesting he commanding presence on screen here. Mel Gibson doesn't exactly have a lot to do, but the little he does, he's quite good at. And Will Sasso, who of course is from Mad TV, and he's one of the new Three Stooges, he's fun as the second henchman here. And I liked it, man. It's one of those time loops. I thought, it had a good story. You find some more revelations as you go along here. I really like this one here. This is my 4-star review of the week. Definitely well worth checking out. A lot of fun. Boss Level.
I'll be checking in with you next week with this because it's on my list to see this week, and I was very happy to see that it's on Hulu, where it's accessible to everybody.
Not a Rob Gronkowski fan. He gets murdered 40 times in this movie because he's one of the people that dies very quickly.
Well, yeah. Thanks for spoiling it for us.
Well, you see him die in the first 30 seconds, then of course he's not going to repeat.
I'm sure WWE fans would be very enthusiastic about that.
That's why I was.
You guys are awful. Okay, the next film that we're going to talk about, I'm not sure what platform it's on, but if it's out there, you can see it. It's called The Wave, a man on the verge of a promotion There's a promotion takes a mysterious hallucinogenic drug that begins to tear down his reality and expose his life for what it really is. Justin Long, Donald Faison, Katina Winter, Bill Sage, Ronnie Blevins, and Tommy Flanagan. Oh, I was doing so
Flanagan.
well. Flanagan is, well, I don't have an N on the end, so I'm going to go with Flanagan.
More like Flanagan.
Yeah. So, what is who watched this film and tell me what it's about?
Steve, do I even have to ask?
No.
All right, it's me again, guys. I'm probably the only one for these next couple. Maybe we'll find out. So the Wave, I'm a big Justin Long fan. I think this kid can do anything and everything. This kid, he's probably older than me. He's been out for a long time. And I don't know, man. I love a trippy film here. This thing here. Kind of like the next movie that I'll get to, obviously, here in a minute. I feel like maybe sometimes it's more style over substance occasionally here. This one, I think, has more substance beneath it, though, than the next movie, which I'll have probably a lower review for. Spoiler. But I kind of went along with the ride here. I thought there was enough interesting things going on here, him trying to kind of find, his true meaning of his job, and there's some really whimsy stuff going on here, and it's not exactly going to thrill you the entire time. But what's that, Steve?
They say some of these movie effects look like something I can use in iMovie.
Oh, okay. Oh, whatever. It's a low-budget movie, man. I'm not going to knock people for making a low-budget movie. So next time if you need effects, me some Nadia. But I don't know. Like
Got all the effects.
I relatively went along for the ride here, so I'm going to give it 3 stars. It was interesting enough to where I do want to feel like I want to recommend it, but I know it's not going to be necessarily for everyone, but enough for recommend.
And where can people get this?
This I think you just got to find on demand. You got to get more than an app for this one.
Okay.
Forget about that.
Yeah, that's too much work. Too much work.
No, I'm overpopulating the apps. My apps are like literally I have to delete one app to even install another app. That's how bad it is on my phone.
Well, luckily for you guys, then, for this next movie, all you got to do is jump over to Shudder, and you can watch this next one, Random Acts of Violence, something I want to commit against these two all the time. A pair of comic book writers begin to notice scary similarities between the character they created and horrific real-life events. This stars Jesse Williams, Jordana Brewster, Jay Baruchel, and Naomi Wilson. So as I was kind of hinting at before here, this one from the get-go with the credits and some of the very scary and ultra-violent imagery, it's got something's going for it here. But then, unfortunately, it's super quick. This is like an hour 20 if you don't include credits. You don't really get to know, especially anyone but maybe them, Jesse Williams and Jordana, even Jay Baruchel, who I think is in this simply because he helped produce, co-write, and direct this. I think if Jay Baruchel was given the script for this character by someone else, I don't think he would pick it because he'd be like, oh, what am I going to do? But I think in order to get this movie financed, he put himself in it so we could get a bigger wide notice. One of the reasons I wanted to see it because I like Jay Baruchel and I enjoyed his other directorial movie, Goon. Well, he wrote the first Goon, directed the second Goon. Yeah, so I mean, there's some interesting stuff going on. I was with it as far as like it held me enough to the end, but not enough to where I was satisfied by almost any means. There's enough stylized though. There's definitely a lot of I'm going back and forth even now as I review it here because there's definitely also the horror cliche of why are they doing what they're doing. It makes no sense. They could be running instead they're not. They're hiding or whatnot. So
I mean, it is called Random Acts of Violence.
Yeah, but you need more than that in the end here, Steve. So 2.5. There's enough going on where there is some interesting stuff going, but not enough to fully recommend it. As Ebert and Siskel and Ebert would say, Well, have you seen this one?
No, I have not, but I would like to recommend something on Shudder though.
What you got?
I got 3 choices. So I'm going to give you 3 title names, and I want you to pick one for what you want me to make a little mini review. Lucky, Haunt, or One Cut of the Dead.
Haunt, I also recommend. That's kind of old by now.
Well, I mean, it was recent on Shudder. Come on, give me a break. Okay, I'm just catching.
Yeah, but that's like saying, Coming to America, the first one's recent on Amazon Prime.
Well, brother, Coming to America in '87.
I know. I'm just saying.
Haunted 2017.
It's new to that platform. Doesn't make it a new movie. What are your other two choices? Haunt, I recommend. Overall, do you recommend Haunt?
I do.
All right. What's your other two choices?
One Cut of the Dead or Lucky?
Lucky, because I've heard about him.
Lucky is basically kind of like a feministic Groundhog Day with a horror element. Basically, it's like Happy Death Day, but much more violent. So basically, it's about this woman who, for some reason, keeps getting stalked by a masked guy, and spoiler alert, he kills him, but he kills him right in front of the husband, and the husband's like acts like nonchalant about it, just like yeah, you know that you kill this guy almost every night. Every night at this time, you kill this guy, and it's your job to clean the mess and all and all that stuff. So we're talking about time loops. This is another time loop movie, and it's basically it's a very interesting movie. You definitely have to don't look at your phone while you're watching this movie, because then you're going to be completely lost. I enjoy the I'm already forgetting this girl's name. Bree Grant. She delivers an excellent performance as this woman who's constantly getting chased, beaten, and killing this mysterious stranger over and over and over and over and over again. Everyone's aware of it. She's not aware of it. And it eventually becomes this movie's in the end. It basically kind of gets a little confusing if you're not paying attention to what it is, but it basically makes a message about, I think what it tells me, it's like a message about guilt and post-traumatic stress syndrome, especially after an attack, and how it manifests in many different ways. So with that being said, I'm going to give this 3.5 stars out of 5.
And what was the third one?
One Cut of the Dead.
You do a real quick one for that. I just want to know. I feel bad that we left that one out.
It's a Japanese movie. It's a movie within a movie within a movie. The movie starts out as a film crew shooting a zombie movie, in which, in actuality, there's a zombie outbreak happening while they're actually shooting the zombie movie. But all I can say for you is that movie is more than it meets the eyes. Might as well just say it. It's basic, like I said, it's a movie within a movie within a movie, but in this case, it's a TV program. It's a Japanese director who had a good string of hits in TV, and he's hired to make a zombie television show as they're broadcasting it live. And whatever could go wrong does go wrong. Just going to leave it as that. It's one of the best foreign language horror films I've ever seen.
You were talking to us about One Cut of the Dead, so it sounded like you liked it. What's your overall score?
5 stars.
Holy shit, that was higher than I thought. Any other new releases? And when I say new, I mean not movies from 2019.
For me, Judas and the Black Messiah. I just saw this one the other day, and my God, it's a terrific acting showcase from Daniel Kaluuya, and not to mention Lakeith Stanfield. Daniel Kaluuya plays Fred Hampton, the leader of the Black Panther Party. Lakeith Stanfield plays Bill O'Neill, excuse me, who's basically hired by the FBI to infiltrate the Black Panthers. And of course, when you get close with a guy, you start developing a relationship, feelings for that person, and eventually things turn tragic, as true story foretold. But it's a great movie, tremendous acting in it. Great turns from also Jesse Plemons, who was Meth Damon in Breaking Bad. And in other movies such as I'm Thinking of Ending Things and I believe, 3rd season of Fargo, if I'm correct. Second season of Fargo, excuse me. Well recommended. Definitely check it out. 4.5 stars.
Dutch, have you finally gotten around to this one yet?
I have not. It's in the list. It's just I'll get there. I will watch it before if it's nominated, which sounds like it will be. I will be watching it. I will watch all the nominated films, and I will be able to weigh in properly, like we all should. But until that comes out, I will not watch it probably because I have other things I got to do.
We'll watch it before Friday because it's off of HBO Max.
That's a lot of pressure, sir.
Well, you had a month, sir.
Well, my bad. It's not Friday. It's Sunday, March 14th.
See, I got a little wiggle room. I could do that.
Any other films, Steve?
Nope, that's all I got.
Alrighty, so this week looks like we had recapping that Coming to America. Looks like we had two thumbs in the middle. SpongeBob movie.
It sounds like more like
Sponge on the Run, we gave both a thumbs up to. Boss Level, big thumbs up. The Wave, just got my thumbs up there. Random Acts of Violence in the end. I'm going to say thumbs down in the end. And then Steve over here, I think all of them were thumbs up, right? All three of yours.
Both thumbs ups.
All right.
Okay. We're just saying thumbs up as a rhetorical thing and not as an actual grade because that could get us in trouble.
All right, pinkies up.
Okay, pinkies up. Okay. I like the pinkies better. Let's do the pinkies.
I did it out of honor because I love the man.
Yes, we do, but he also has a claim on that. Oh, man. Anywho. We jump from movies, we go to the television, which seems to be where I've been watching a lot more of instead of movies lately. But hey, that's just part of the deal that we all live with.
Yes, you don't got time for Juice and Black Messiah. Tell them what you do got time for, though.
I got television time, my friend. Television for some reason. The first show we're going to talk about is over on the new Paramount Network. It is a spin-off, if you really want to go with it, from the SpongeBob film we just talked about. It's Camp Coral. The only thing that really... Yeah, Coral. That's exactly what I was thinking, whenever I was in there. But the only thing I could say really disappointed me the most with this. It's nice that they let the original cast voice these kids, as kids. But if you watch the movie, they do a flashback to Camp Coral with brand new voices for Kid SpongeBob, for Kid Patrick, for Kid Plankton, and all these other things, or Kid Squidward as well. And it just, for some reason, hearing the adult versions act as if they're children doesn't play well for me. I sat and watched 3 episodes. They're good for kids. I'm not going to say, they're very entertaining. But again, that's what I think I was more pressed upon, that I thought it was going to be new voices to go with the size of the kid, But they decided not to. But it's still watchable, and you should take a look at it. If you have kids in the house, they'll be very, very well entertained. The next one I was meaning to talk about over on Apple 2. Or Apple Plus, another Plus. I'm sorry, Apple.
That no one knows of? Oh, what's going on?
Yeah, it's the other Apple network. No, over and over in Apple 2, I was thinking over in 2, I was thinking in my brain. I've been meaning to talk about this one, but it's called Earth at Night. It is an unbelievable vision of what it would show, what technology has done with cameras to basically make the nighttime day. And it's just, the clarity is unbelievable. Tom Hiddleston is the narrator, him as Loki. But yeah, it is just a beautiful spectacle of a film, of a series. You love nature programs, saddle up and get into this one, because so far it looks to me as if Apple has got their juices going, because they did
Planet Earth, huh?
Yeah, they've got a lot of great nature programs. If you want to watch them, you should not miss this one, because this one's totally different than what you've ever seen before. What else we got out there? Over on the Netflix, I talked about Nadia Bakes. Well, this time it's Nadia's Time to Eat, in which she tries to help you with with menus of short periods of time, good recipes to get you go through eating. It's just a fun, laid back 45 minutes on Netflix. If you're into cooking, if you're into shows about cooking or anything like that, then you can most definitely get in with this show. I enjoy it, and she's just a good hostess. She's fun to watch, and if you get a chance, it's over on Netflix. Nadia's It's Time to Eat. Then we've all watched this next show coming up over on Disney Plus. It just finished WandaVision. Have we not all seen this? Have we not seen it? Did we not almost? Well, I didn't cry, but I know some of you guys probably did because it's such a touching show. Jordan, tell me what you thought about this season, and do you want to see a second season?
That's actually a really good question too, in a way. So yeah, WandaVision wrapped up, so I just thought we could all kind of give our brief, opinions on the finale. Well, first of all, Steve, have you seen this?
I have for one.
Oh, okay. We can all actually chime in, all three of us, on the first time tonight. Yeah, I kind of really dug this. I'll admit I was a little ho-hummed by the first couple. I liked them, but they were just legitimately like these simple sitcoms with a little bit of a twist at like the very end. But it really built up and it really created an intrigue and a mysteriousness about it here. And when you finally get to that inevitable CGI portal fight, you care. You really care about kind of what's going on between these people here, and you care about what's up with the children and this relationship. Which also, when I first walked in, I don't know. I don't know if I really totally was invested in Vision and Wanda. They're kind of B characters in the main films, but you end up really caring here, and all of a sudden you care about this witch and this robot. And yeah, maybe a tear was forming. I'm never gonna tell. I liked it here. My only problem is, and maybe they'll course correct this later here. I didn't love the Evan Peters thing because I felt like if it truly is just ending on a boner joke, they were purposely misleading us then, because you don't purposely cast that actor and then just go just a giggle. So like that was a little bit of a mislead here, and there's a couple other things here that were unfulfilled with some of the side characters here. I do feel bad for the town when you really think about it. Wanda did a really shitty thing. I like how the one Maximoff was like, or the other Rambeau was like, they'll never know what you sacrifice. I'm like, yeah, they sacrifice a shit ton too, lady. Like she should be in jail. That's a whole nother quandary because you at first don't hate Wanda, but when you think about it, Wanda did some really shitty stuff. But it's a really worthwhile show here, man. I'm way more excited about this than I was about Captain Falcon and the Winter Soldier, because I feel like that's just going to be
Captain
more
Bucky.
more of your typical stuff, where I like that we found something different. We found another kind of area to hit with this show here. As for season 2, there's a bit of a tease that maybe it is coming. If you can give me a good story, yeah, I feel like you kind of wrapped it up, but there's
I sorry to interrupt, Jordan, but I think this is just a one and done situation with WandaVision. I mean, there's really not much more you can do except have her more of her story fleshed out in film.
Well, did you see the last shot?
I did see the last shot, and I think
why are they setting that up?
I'm just saying this could set up for Doctor Strange 2.
Okay, very good point. All right.
Yeah, I just don't see a season 2, but I would not put it past Disney to milk if they can. So and that's what they do at Disney. They do milk, and also
this was viewed extremely well.
Oh yes, I know. I'm not saying. I'm saying though to push to a second season, they would probably do it. Also the Marvelverse, and I believe it was Feige. I always mess his last name up. He has actually stated. He says he's saying that a lot of these shows in the future this is the way the Marvel Universe will be going with television and movies. Even though he was not for it at the beginning, but then he thought, well, you could expound upon a little bit, say something like WandaVision or Loki coming up, or you could showcase a person.
She-Hulk,
Yeah, you can see a lot of these things, and you can get to know a character more, and then you can put them in the film, and people would probably care about them a little bit more too, as well.
I mean, you have to think about it too. Sorry to interrupt.
No.
But you had the freaking Agatha. It was Agatha all along, hitting like the number one in iTunes. So it just it surpasses, like, it depends on what the type and how the audience are being connected to the program, and it'll take off after pop culture. So it's just right now. WandaVision's done, and it's already in the pop culture lexicon with Agatha and the spoofs on the television and the Bewitched imaging and all this other stuff, and with whatever's going to be leading into the MCU television movie universe.
But you know what? The show that I want, I'll let you jump in here for a second. The show that I really want after watching this is, I want to see Darcy and Monica and Jimmy get together. And have a crime fighting squad. You know what I'm saying? I want to see those kids get together.
To Darcy? Or did Darcy just go away?
No, she showed up at the end, but that's all we got to see. We didn't see much more.
Okay. One thing. First of all, Agatha, how she brainwashed her to just be the nosy neighbor now. Is that a fate worse than death? Is that also really messed up what she did to her?
Yeah, pretty much. But you know what? At the end of the day, she lost. I don't want to use spoilers because we're spoiling it to a point if you haven't seen it.
Oh yeah. If you haven't seen the show yet,
we're deep into the spoiler hip, and you completely yell at me for that, but I'm not, because I'm going to join you. But once her kids are passed, I think that really put a more of a nail in that girl's coffin to be able to do that. And I think it's more of a, it is evil to do that, to relive and just be a nosy neighbor in a town. But just because of that, I think that, it's respectable.
The kids don't exist, Jim. Also, too.
Hold on, do they or do they not? We don't know yet.
In
yeah, that's it. That's a question that's up in the air.
Now, how about this? She was a big fan of Malcolm in the Middle because she had the DVD box set. Malcolm in the Middle stars Bryan Cranston. Bryan Cranston was in Godzilla with Elizabeth Olsen. What? Multiverse.
Oh.
Wow. You're overthinking it, Jordan. Come on.
Or are you underthinking it?
Definitely not.
I think he's underthinking it. We're going to have Godzilla come to the MCU. That's what we're going to have.
It's going to be a fatal three-way. It's going to be the fatal three-way between Godzilla, King Kong, and Scarlet Witch. Yes.
We are only a couple weeks away. All right. Yeah. Who are we talking about now, Dutch?
Well, unless you guys throw any more television on the fire, that is all we got for our television talk. And then, if you want me to segue to the next segment, I can do that. I'm a professional. I can segue because we're going to talk the top 10 worst. Yes, worst, not best, worst Eddie Murphy films. Yes, Eddie Murphy has made some stinkers. He's actually came out just recently in an article saying he actually quit acting because he kept getting Razzies. Yes, the Razzies, where they just showcase how awful you are. And that's exactly what we're going to talk about, how bad some of these movies were. It was so difficult. I wanted to put them all in my top 10, but damned if I could. I couldn't do it all. But if that movie's in your top 10, my friend, right there, I will hurt you. I will hurt you so hard. Here's $5. Thank you. I'll take myself to the moon.
Who wants to go first for this bashing of Eddie Murphy?
Well, Steve, you have a top 10?
I do have a top 10.
Okay, you know what? You're the guest. You go first, my friend. I want to hear if you have any honorable mentions and if you have and what's your number 10?
I'm going straight to it. I'm going to my number 10. My number 10 is Tower Heist. Tower Heist. For a cast that it's really surprisingly big, it is very disappointing. It wasn't, everybody hyped it up as a Eddie Murphy comeback vehicle. Here he comes. Eddie Murphy's back in this comedy realm. Honestly, it was very underwhelming. It was very underwhelming for what the cast was leading, and it just felt like a retread of Ocean's 11 through 13, basically. They were trying to make a funnier version of Ocean's, which they failed. in my opinion, they failed to do that.
Yeah. Well, I know I'll talk a little bit more about it later.
It's higher. It's higher. Huh?
Yeah, but not right away.
Okay.
But Jordan, is this on anything that you're going to talk about in the future, or are you just?
Yeah, I'm gonna talk about it too at one point.
Okay, good.
Yeah, we share.
Okay.
We share. Yeah, we share.
Okay, so Jordan, what do you got for me?
All right, so starting off, and I don't hate. Well, I do have some honorable mentions. I would say I don't hate these first honorables or my number 10, but my honorables are Holy Man, Haunted Mansion, Doctor Doolittle 2, Shrek the Third, and 1,000 Words. Coming in at my number 10 though is it hurts because again, kind of like Shrek. And I think there's another movie on here that I'll be talking about sequels here. It's an Eddie Murphy sequel here, and it's the third Beverly Hills Cop. Again, there's moments in this that are aspiring, and I think he's good in it to a large degree here, but just I don't know, man. From the villain to the plot, from what I remember, which is not a hell of a lot, I just thought it was just unnecessary. Third one here. It's the reason why they haven't. They've been very cautious about a fourth. That's always been in talks as well here. So, yeah, just unfortunately, one of those sequels that more than times than not just didn't work, which I guess is kind of what we said earlier with Coming to America. But, yeah, the third Beverly Hills Cop is what starts off my list. Dutch, what starts off yours?
Well, our honorable mentions are almost the same, which is scary. Holy Man. My difference, though, is Nutty Professor 2, The Clumps, Dr. Doolittle 2, 1,000 Words, and Haunted Mansion.
Wow.
And my number 10, and my number 10, my friend, Beverly Hills Cop 3. Yeah, I really did not enjoy this movie. High hopes because I love the first two. They're my favorite. I watch them almost a couple times a year, just in succession, and it just seemed as if no one understood how to play this. The director was all over the map. That he had a vision. Eddie Murphy probably had a vision, and then somewhere along the lines, it just threw up on itself because it was just that confused. And I missed it. Judge Reinhold was there, and he couldn't even bring luster, to his whole part. I just found it just devastating to watch at number 10. But again, part 4, I hear is going to be a little better. I hope.
We heard that before. What do you mean we heard?
But they're working on it, and it seems to be grittier. So let's go with gritty. I'm okay if it's gritty and fun.
The Batman version.
Yeah. Let's get a Chris Nolan to do this one. Come on, let's do it.
And we're I'm
Beverly Hills Cop 3. Yeah. I'm Beverly Hills 4. I'm Axel Foley. What do you want? But yeah, that's awful. So what's your number 9, Mr. Mesa?
I might be breaking some hearts here with number 9. I'm going to have to go with The Golden Child.
Oh, that does break my heart.
I've never seen it.
I'm sorry, man. For what all the people talked about that movie, I didn't see anything, I just saw Eddie Murphy just basically retreading his 48 hours 48 hours Beverly Hills Cop character.
I can see where you get that. There, you have Randall Tex Cobb in this one, I believe, is one of the villains. You have, of course, there's the Warlock. So you had a little bit of mysticism going on with this.
Not that I have anything wrong against mysticism.
No. I know, but I just think fondly of it because when I saw it as a kid, I really enjoyed it. So I couldn't, even if I even saw it recently, but it still couldn't even make the top 10 because it still has some kind of hold on me. But I don't argue with you because I know people who've seen this and they just think it's the drizzling craps. So yeah, that's.
I will be completely honest with you guys that I have not seen even the worst of Eddie Murphy movies. So these are the movies that I've actually seen that I've considered,
No.
So just FYI, I'm going to be missing a couple stuff that you guys are watching, and vice versa with me, and so just so that
for sure. I'm definitely missing a couple that are not on my list just because I never saw them. So yeah, I'm with you.
All right.
Yeah. So, what is your number 9, Jordan?
I told you I was going to talk about it, and it didn't take too long. It's Tower Heist. Steve's right too. This did have that weird, like, early, like, buzz of like, oh, it's maybe he's back. Eddie Murphy's back. Forget all those movies we've seen recently. And then it just wasn't all that good, and even he's not all that. He's not likable in it either, which not necessarily you have to be, but yeah, I don't know. Like he said, it's a great cast, and there are some moments. There's some moments early on the first time we meet him in Broderick, but yeah, and then it just kind of trifles along, and it's bloated. It's a little too long from what I remember too. Yeah, it just wasn't that good. It definitely did not live up to any expectations, and even on top of that, it doesn't even hold up as far as like a rewatch. I've tried a second time, and it doesn't win you over much then either. So it's just okay. Tower Heist, my number's 9.
Yeah, I think I'll talk about that in a second, but not right now because that would be kind of weird. But yeah, mine's a little higher. But I am going to go with Mr. Church as my number 9. This was supposed to be a drama in which this is going to be like, it is almost near, I think, after Dreamgirl sometime, I believe. And this was supposed to be a great gripping drama in which he comes in to help out a sick girl, a sick mom and a girl, and they cook, and it's just the friendship between these two, and it just falls flat. I mean, literally, he's only supposed to be there for 6 months. He winds up staying, I think, about over 20 years. So I'm not sure what's going on with that. But the whole thing about him is it just doesn't work for me. It just played too long, and nothing about it to me screamed greatness throughout any of it. I had high hopes going into it. It just fell completely flat.
You have high hopes with a movie that's being directed by the guy who did Driving Miss Daisy?
I love Driving Miss Daisy, so yes, I do have high hopes for people like that, but I enjoyed Driving Miss Daisy, so it's not a bad thing. So, well, it's not your speed.
I've never seen this or Driving Miss Daisy, so I don't know.
Dude, I'm not gonna rag on Dutch, but Jesus Christ, that's an overrated piece of garbage in my opinion.
I enjoyed it. I'm sorry. I just love the banter between Jessica Tandy and Morgan Freeman.
Through child's eyes as well.
No, it was not. It's through teenage eyes during that period. I've watched it since, and I think even Dan Aykroyd gets less credit than he deserves in that film. He's just a great SOB of a son. So it's just a great movie. That one is anyway. But Mr. Church is not, and that's why it's at number 9. Number 8. Mr. Mason, what do you got for me over there?
Number 8. Let me go back to my list. I just lost myself here. Number 8, Daddy Daycare. Daddy Daycare.
Okay.
Really, is there really much to say? Jeff Garland, Angelica Houston, for the love of God. What the hell is she freaking doing in that movie? And she gets attacked by bees at the end of the movie. What the hell? This is not the Wicker Man, guys. Jesus Christ. Poop jokes.
But it's Daddy Daycare. There are going to be poop jokes. Now, if you want to really hate it, Daddy Daycare 2, that was a shitty film.
well, if we're going to talk about Cuba Gooding Jr. movies, I think we should probably reserve that on a later date, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. Oh, we can do that. Trust me. We can pull in Cuba Gooding any day of the week. And,
now, I don't have 10 worst Cuba because I've stood away from him in the last several years, so I don't know if I have it.
I probably got about 6 of them, probably. But so that was Daddy Daycare for your number 8. Yeah. Jordan, what do you have for number 8?
All right, so there's that few years, you know what I mean, right around the Tower Heist time, maybe right before it, even after it. He was just throwing out stuff. And I remember looking at the list going like, wait, didn't I already talk about 1,000 words? Oh, no, that's right. This is that other thing. Imagine That is what my number 8 is from 2009. Yeah, I'm not, it's not going to be a long thing I'm going to talk about because I just remember not liking it that much. That's all I can say. I remember liking it a little bit less than 1,000 words. Or do I like 1,000 words less? I don't know. That's not a good thing. Yeah, it's a Nickelodeon's film. It just, I don't know. The premise is there. I think the heart's intended in the script, and then it just in the end doesn't totally work here. It's another one of those movies where it's just like, kind of like you said, if Beverly Hills 4 maybe it's a little grittier, that might be fun because there's this moment of him just throwing out these PG-13 duds, and this is another one of them. So imagine that is my number 8.
I never saw it, so it never made my list. But
Never
the
saw
movie
it.
that's but the movie that made my list at number 8, you had it at number 10, you had it at number 9, I have it at number 8, and that's Tower Heist. It is a dreadful film. The girl who's the girl who played Precious, right? That she was in that film as well.
Sidibe.
Thank you, Gabrielle.
God bless
I
you.
thought out of all the people in that movie, I laughed more for her. Meaning, I enjoyed her performance more than anybody else in the film. So I guess that shows you that that's how bad Eddie Murphy was in that movie. Him and Ben Stiller. But yeah, I that's the only thing I enjoyed out of the performance from her, and I couldn't save it. So that Tower Heist is number 8.
Fair. All right. I guess we're going to a number 7 now, aren't we?
Number 7.
You had this. I believe Dutch. You had. Did you both of you have this on this list? I think. Yeah. So it's my turn. Beverly Hills Cop 3, guys. What is there to say about Beverly Hills Cops 3 that hasn't been said? That's it.
No, there could be something. We have to dig more.
It's a retread. It's basically running on fumes, and we can only pray to God that Beverly Hills Cops 4 or whatever they want to call itself, just to see the real Beverly Hills Cop, or I don't know what they want to call for the next.
Just don't put the number 4 out there with it. You know what I'm saying? You got to call it something different.
Beverly Hills Cop for life. How about that? Oh wait, Bad Boys already took that. My bad.
Yeah. Bad Boys is already what 3 ahead of him.
Can we argue that why is Bad Boys for life and it's a third movie in the sequel?
They should have waited.
I know, right?
Well, I don't know. I kind of liked the title for it. It kind of worked for me because they're old and.
He's saying it should have been the 4th one because it would have been simply for life.
Yeah, I understand that. I'm just stating, though. I can see why they say for life because they're almost
George
dead.
Lucas was in the 3rd Beverly Hills Cop.
He was.
Well, hey, you got stroke because it's Eddie Murphy.
Oh, by the way, directed by John Landis. So says it
yeah,
all.
and it was funny as John Landis and Eddie Murphy do not get along in real life. They both hate each other, and why they got back together to do a film, cannot tell you. What is your number 8? I believe it's or was it 7? 7, Mr. Jordan.
Yeah, it's coming in my number 7. I sadly don't think you agree with us, Dutch, because I'm agreeing with Steve from earlier. Daddy Daycare. Yeah, this thing sucks. If you want literally the lowest common denominator for like your kid, I guess, but I mean, just the jokes aren't there. The heart's not really there. The one good message is men are just as good caregivers as women if they can be anyway. Other than that, just this thing is just for me it was hard to get through. This was very much geared towards and only for maybe rambunctious 4-year-olds, but even them, I think they would prefer a cartoon over this. And I don't think Steve forgot to mention on top of the poop jokes, there was also some poop jokes and also 1 or 2 poop jokes. So it's a poopy film.
I'm the only one who actually likes poop jokes, so I guess that's why I didn't make my list.
Well, listen, I love Caddyshack, and it has the best poop, in my opinion, the best poop joke of all time.
Absolutely, it's a Butterfinger. I love that one. Okay, what do we have next? Mine is Boomerang, 1992. If you look at the cast, it should have been a gangbusters cast. You had David Alan Grier, Martin Lawrence, and Robin Givens, Halle Berry.
Oh, yeah.
What happened? It was a train wreck all the way through the cohesion. I'm just looking through the cast. I just pulled it up again, and even Chris Rock made an appearance in this film, but nothing memorable to say the least. It's just basically about a guy who just likes to womanized basically and caroused, and it's just I don't know. It just did not settle with me at all when I watched it, and it still doesn't work. I tried to watch it probably about a couple of years ago, and it just doesn't. You just feel bad for Eddie Murphy basically in this film. So that's my.
The last time he was the full-on screenwriter, never wrote a movie completely again.
As it
Yeah,
should.
it's just a very bad film. So just if you want to watch it, but at your own risk. But it's at my number 7. So, Steve, that brings us to number 6. We're almost halfway through this debauchery of a countdown that we could ever have of Eddie Murphy's worst top 10. What's your number 6?
Whoa, number six. Well, I'm gonna go with Showtime with Robert De Niro. Okay, like it's a buddy cop movie about being buddy cops.
Buddy cops, yeah.
It's a lot. This was around the time where Hollywood was doing a lot of buddy cops movies. You had this movie. You had Hollywood Nights. Everybody remembers that? No, just me. Okay, moving on.
I remember that. I remember, my friend. Hollywood Homicide.
Homicide Nights. At this point, who cares? If I can't even remember the title, what makes you think I'm going to remember the rest of whatever happened? I think the only joke that I really liked in Showtime to give credit where credit is due is when he slides across the car and he screws up his own car hood because of the holster on the gun that he had. Yeah. Aside from that, you could take everything out. I'm good. Yeah, Showtime.
Yeah. That'll make another appearance probably in my list or Jordan's, but it will make it a list.
As it should.
Yeah. So, what is your number 6, Mr. O?
All right. Well, I Spy with My Little Lie, a movie that severely depressed me. It's I Spy. Again, kind of like Showtime. On paper, it seems like it should work. You know what I mean? Owen Wilson's pretty hot at this point. Shanghai Noon and Zoolander. Wow. Eddie Murphy, Bowfinger was pretty good. Holy Man, even though it was in our honorables, I thought it also had some interesting moments. Yeah, this thing, again, just, not to reiterate myself, but just a lot of it just doesn't work. The laughs aren't there. There's a couple funny moments here, but this is, again, a planned franchise here based on the TV show. What was it, Leslie Nielsen? But just never got off the ground here. You can just see why it's just kind of dull. And that's my number 6.
Well, my number 6 is Vampire in Brooklyn. Yes, Vampire in Brooklyn. Angela Bassett does her best. All it is basically a vampire played by Eddie Murphy, who comes from the Caribbean, and he's searching for a woman to be his bride. He comes across Angela Bassett. Kadeem Hardison is in this film, and that's all I remember out of all of this. I remember Angela Bassett, Kadeem Hardison being like the Igor to the deal. There I guess Mitch Pileggi right there, but it is just a dreadful vampire film. I love vampire films. Any other vampire film in the world could just okay. What's the one with George Hamilton? That one was good compared to this one. And Love at First Bite, I believe it was called. That one, if you want to go back into the 70s, watch Love at First Bite. Watch it. George Hamilton puts on a better performance than this. And poor Angela Bassett, young, and she's just awful again. And they begin to get these little quirks. But I did not like it. Did not care for it. And this was a high school Dutch watching it. So there you go. This is exactly what this is. Brooklyn, Vampire Brooklyn.
Brooklyn Vampire.
Yeah. I love vampire films. I love them, but this was just did not work. Okay, now we're at the halfway point, Steve. What's your number?
Steve, what are we?
We are halfway there, living on a prayer.
Thank you.
You're welcome. My number 5 would be Dr. Dolittle 2. Yes, Dr. Dolittle 2. Whatever jokes they could not fit in Dr. Dolittle 1, they sure as hell try to fit in Dr. Dolittle 2. The fact that Steve Zahn plays a bear in all his Steve Zahniness shows you that what type of talent they were trying to corral for Dr. Dolittle 2. Literally,
Whoa. What's the hatred of Steve Zahn on this show all of a sudden?
I mean, I'm not a big fan of his. It's just also you have a pedophile in the movie too, Jeffrey Jones. So
he's in the first one.
He's in the second one.
Oh, okay.
So there's enough reason why you shouldn't like Dr. Dolittle 2.
Oh man, well that's some tough watching. It is really. I agree with you very much, Steve. It is tough watching that film, Dr. Dolittle 2, at number 5 for you. Now, Jordan, what's number 5 for you?
Again, Steve talked about it earlier. It's Showtime. Yeah, man. I wanted to like this. I really did. It's another one that I've tried a couple of different times here, and like the opening scene, there's some promise. William Shatner kind of, sort of, has a couple laughs, but yeah, unfortunately, it's another dud. It's one of those forgotten about. I bet you could tell 10 people that Eddie Murphy and Robert De Niro started a movie together, and then go, "What? No way! What movie's that?" So, and rightfully so. And then you would tell them.
And you would tell them it's Showtime. No, seriously, what movie? No, it's called Showtime.
No. If you're a good person, you would say, "I'm just joking." So that way they don't go and find this movie and then go, "Why did you?"
I would wish that on my best enemies. I have no problem.
And I'm just gonna chime in real quick. My number 5, Showtime. Yeah. So therefore, we all have Showtime on our list as well. Again, it's just. Oh, like you said, it was nothing. There was no chemistry. I didn't see any chemistry at all between these two characters. Never once that I believe that any of it could be, viable as a film. You thought, okay, it is a decent premise, but the execution is just lazy and sloppy at the same time. And I just thought, this is just De Niro making another dollar and Eddie just trying to get some funny back in his body. We'll talk about where Eddie lost his funny. And, I made a blog a long time ago about where is Eddie Murphy and where did his funny go a long time ago. But it was a great little article if you ever read it. That is my number 5 as well. Showtime.
So see these fingers that I'm throwing up for the 4 movie in the 4th movie.
I thought we were going NWO for a second.
Or 4 Horsemen in this case. So the 4th worst Eddie Murphy movie would be The Haunted Mansion. Yeah, that's right. Original, making a movie out of a theme park ride. I believe this was the 2nd movie. Unfortunately, it had the adverse effect. This was not successful, and it completely sucked. You have Jennifer Tilly in a ball. You have this effort of trying to have like the sympathetic villain, trying to romance the ancestor of it's just a whole bunch of nothingness, really. And it has a great cast: Terrence Stamp, Jennifer Tilly, Eddie Murphy. But Jesus, it's not good. It's not good. It did the opposite of what Pirates of the Caribbean for the first one did. It just retracted people. It didn't attract people because it had Eddie Murphy in it, and very not so great and very not convoluted, but just nobody cared. The stories, it didn't make anybody care. It didn't make me care about it.
And this movie was also one of those. He was already on the downslide on this. When he came into this film, I mean, he
have
was
not hit the downslide yet, my friend.
no. But this, no, I'm just saying though. This was part of the middle of the downslide that he was in. I'm not got to the tippy top. We should all agree on the first one. Yeah.
He's in the middle. He's stuck on the slide because he's stuck on the slide because he's wearing that clump suit. That's why.
Okay, number 4, boss. What do you got for me?
Oh man. My number 4. I can't imagine this is not going to be on your guys' list. I feel like a lot of people might even have this higher. I think it's at least more interesting than the rest of my list. That is The Adventures of Pluto Nash.
Oh, we'll talk about that later.
Yeah, I'm like, it's got to be, man. I think a lot of people.
I have not seen it.
Then you're relatively lucky, man. I bought this on VHS. I think finally when Hollywood Video was closing down 50 cents, and I need that 50 cents back. No, there is some interesting things going on here, man. I feel like maybe a completely different screenwriter, or I don't know, could have done something here. That's why it's higher than the other 3. But yeah, man, just it's an odd one. It's one I haven't seen in a while. I'm looking at this trailer, and there's a lot of stuff going on that I don't quite remember, and rightfully so. It's a one-time view that it's tough to get through. So yeah, just a nod and a shake of the head. Adventures of Pluto Nash.
Yeah, we'll talk more. We got number 4 though. For me, I agreed with you on this. I Spy had a great thought process. Poor execution. It's almost it's not as good as like they did with. I'm a big fan of Get Smart. You and I kind of differ. I don't know. I think a little bit. Like we talked about it. We kind of differ a little bit where I put it up on my Get Smart scale. But it's in the lines of the Get Smart series, and they just didn't execute it as good as they should have. Like you said, Owen Wilson being very hot at the moment, and but maybe it's just because I Spy wasn't. I don't know. I don't know what it was about, but it just. They didn't execute it. They played it more as a comedy, and I think they could have played it more seriously. It would have worked, I think, a little bit more. But it's just to me, these two guys couldn't, spoil a terrorist event if they wanted to, and so I just didn't care for it. So number 4, I Spy.
All right, so I guess we're going to number 3, and guess what? It's I Spy! I Spy.
Hey, you spy with your little eye at number 3.
A very stinky movie. I Spy with my little eye, a very stinky movie. Owen Wilson, Eddie Murphy. It seemed like something at the time that would be really good, but the paper written on the idea written on paper is quite different from what the execution was, which is which was also, you had to think about it. This was coming off of the success of Charlie's Angels, and everybody wanted to make a TV redo TV shows from movies. I believe this came out in I believe 2 years after it. Yeah, 3 years after it, 2002. Very, very unremarkable. Just not memorable at all. I believe it got convoluted at some point with the terrorist plot, and there's like twists and turns, and people were stabbing each other in the back metaphorically, and then nobody gave 2 pieces of crap about it. I certainly did, and hence why it's in my number 3. I Spy with my very eye, a very stinky movie.
Okay, Jordan, can you top that at number 3? What do you got there?
In my opinion, I can top that, but it is something you're disagreeing with, because I believe it was your other honorable mention that I didn't have, because it's all the way in my number 3, Nutty Professor 2, The Clumps. It really wears out the welcome of the first one here that also had a little bit of a sweetness to it, as well as an edge, and this thing just becomes just low common denominator jokes here from The Clumps. It's an unnecessary sequel here. I don't know. Again, just a big old eye roll, a gasp of why And let's move on.
Why? And more to come from me.
I'm glad to see me and you on the same page then, because I don't want to be alone in hating on this movie here. But yeah, first one's really good, worth checking out. This one, it's not. That's why I don't think anyone's asking for a third one from this after the second one.
Wait, well, you didn't like Skinny Eddie, Evil Eddie Murphy? Oh, skinny, evil Eddie Murphy. My number 3, though, get this clip ready because it should be on your list, but if it isn't, you better get it ready. Norbert. Norbert is one of those movies that you wish you never have seen. And again, Eddie Murphy playing multiple roles and some which just don't hold up, even if it was made, when was this made? 2007, so 13 years ago. And some of these things do not hold up. I mean, literally, him playing the Chinese guy, awful, dreadful. Just, oh God, it's just Eddie Murphy plays Eddie Murphy over and over again, and you do get tired of seeing Eddie Murphy play Eddie Murphy. And I just find it I don't know, there's a lot of just bad humor that's passed off as supposedly funny, and he just used one of those clump suits to get this going again. So yeah, it just doesn't work, and I just didn't care for it, and that's why Norbit is number 3.
All right, so my number 2 pick is a movie that Mr. Jordan Peterson has already talked about. Nutty Professor 2: The Clumps. Good God, dude. I mean, I know the Clumps were successful in the first part of the movie, but you really had to make a whole movie based around them? Jesus Christ. I think the only thing that really got my attention going was Janet Jackson, and all for the right reason. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Yeah, there's no reason for you to build a whole film based on what made one part of the first movie successful or great. And you were seeing it right now. Just also, this was a time where they were spoofing movies that were already 2 years old, at that point. Oh, and then, by the way, Hamster sodomizing.
Yeah, poor Leonard Miller.
Yeah, who doesn't like a good hamster sodomization?
Really not I. That's why that movie would not have
been. And then let's not forget, after the hamster sodomizes, Grandma blows Eddie Murphy in the tub.
Yep.
Yeah, there you go. So, number 2, what do you have there, Jordan?
After watching that trailer, I almost want to flip-flop my suggestions. Lord, after watching that thing. At least this movie, I feel like is a little less harmless, but I probably laughed a little bit more at the clumps. Number 2 is Meet Dave. A very just kind of laughless laugh movie. Laugh movie. Man, now I'm not making any sense, but there's just no humor in this comedy here. He's some sort of robot. People are in his butt. That's a joke that they make a couple different times. They control him here. There's more common denominator jokes. It's another one of those again. Like imagine that. It's another PG one. I want to say even maybe. I don't even know if it goes PG-13. And just when you're not connected to anybody here, and the largest laugh is maybe a chuckle at the top. So odd idea that wasn't executed well.
I agree with you, Jordan, wholeheartedly. That is my number 2 movie as well. Of awful. Meet Dave. He's a spaceship, basically, I guess, because he's controlled by these aliens. And I just did not care. I mean, literally, it just, oh God, as you said, it was a joyless film. Again, this is his PG diatribes that he loved to do, because he wanted his kids. And I understand where he's going from it. The reason why he started doing these family-friendly films is because he wanted his kids to be able to watch something that he can do. But that doesn't stop, other actors from actually doing tasteful films, even if they are PG or PG-13. He just took this. It just seems because the script was there and no one, and they just decided to pay him for it. That's how it felt like to me. That's just exactly what I felt. Okay, that brings us to numero uno of the top 10 worst Eddie Murphy films. Yes, worst films. What is your number 1, Mr. Steve Mesa?
And I have a feeling this might be Jordan's number one as well. If it's not, God help us, it's Norbit. Why was this movie made in the first damn place? It's racist, it's offensive, it's sexist, it's just terrible. It's clumps. It's what clumps probably would have been if they had a third movie. They just made it with a different premise, basically, and a different cast. So basically, this would have been clumps number 3. Just oh, look, another terrible actor, Cuba Gooding Jr. There you go.
Well, okay, now that's the one problem I have with this review.
But everything else, you agree.
Yeah, I have no. Other than that, yes.
All right, moving on. Let's go.
What is your number one? What brings you the number one heave of the top list?
Yeah, let's keep this train going, man. I gotta get out of this trailer here. I mean, Norbert, what a POS. I think it's the reason why. I think they saw this while he was getting nominated for Dreamgirls and said, we cannot give this man an Oscar. We have to take it back if we gave it to him. This thing, I mean, Steve said it here, man. Offensive, not funny, sexist, racist. You were gonna say like it doesn't hold up. It didn't hold up then, Dutch. It was bad then, it's bad now. Yeah. It's just not funny. It's so dumb. This is hard to get through, man. Meet Dave was hard to get through because it was boring AF and not very funny. This is hard to get through because this is the biggest eye roll here. I'm literally clicking off the trailer. I don't even want to see it anymore. I can't even imagine what your number one is.
I have a feeling. Go ahead, Dutch. Reveal.
My number one is where Eddie Murphy lost his funny. This is where I think he lost it. The Adventures of Pluto Nash. Okay. This is his first turn into the PG foray into this. It was a deal of he plays a casino owner, and the mob's after him, and then basically is him running around, and it just does not make sense to me why again, like I said, he was trying to get to his family to be able to watch him in something, but again, why do you have to pick garbage? I mean, literally, there's a lot of family films that are better, and this is where I believe started the funniness of the funness of Eddie Murphy, and just after that, I'm surprised he never made a tune, was never offered to be in Grown Ups, because that's the kind of slide he became known for. In Grown Ups.
About Eddie Murphy is one of his problems is too, I think, in my opinion, he needs to always be number one. He's not in Grown Ups because he couldn't be in an ensemble. Very rarely is he he's usually always the lead. Like he should pick like a fun supporting role for once instead of always needing to be the star of these tracks.
Absolutely, I agree with you. I believe he likes to be the center of attention, and I think if you were to give it up, he could show more of a persona like he did in Dreamgirls. I thought Dreamgirls was a great role for him because he wasn't the focal point, and he was in a lot of he was in throughout the scenes, but he was not the main scene getter. You know what I'm saying? And so that's what I believe for me. But yeah, I think films in which you play less. I say the same thing with Kevin Smith films, and you don't agree with me, but I think he's funnier. He does better direction when it's never usually stuff that he's got an investment in. I sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes. But this number one though is Adventures of Pluto Nash. This is what that started that downfall of the funny Eddie Murphy.
Same year as My Spy.
So let's recap. So, Steve, give me your top 10. Let's recap your top 10 real quick.
All right, my top 10, I got number 10, Tower Heist. Number 9, The Golden Child. Number 8, Daddy Daycare. Number 7, Beverly Hills Cop 3. Number 6, Showtime. Number 5, Dr. Dolittle 2. Number 4, The Haunted Mansion. Number 3, I Spy. Number 2, Nutty Professor 2, The Club. And number 1, that piece of garbage movie that is known as Norbit.
And Jordan, what is your recap?
All right, Eddie Murphy, top 10 worst. Number 10, Beverly Hills Cop 3. 9, Tower Heist. 8, Imagine That. 7, Daddy Daycare. 6, I Spy. 5, Showtime. 4, The Adventures of Pluto Nash. 3, The Nutty Professor 2, The Clumps. 2, Meet Dave. And number 1, Norbit.
My top 10 worst Eddie Murphy film recap is number 10, Beverly Hills Cop 3, number 9, Mr. Church, number 8, Tower Heist, number 7, Boomerang, number 6, Vampire in Brooklyn, number 5, Showtime, number 4, I Spy, number 3, everyone's favorite, Norbert. Number 2, Meet Dave, and number 1, The Adventures of Pluto Nash. So I hope you all enjoyed our top 10 worst Eddie Murphy films. I think we should cover it later with the best 10 of his in the future. But right now, the top.
I feel after tonight, we should show him some love later on. Yes.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I like to do the worst on occasion. I think we should do these more often because it is fun to watch bad films and as it is, and it scars you a lot. It scars you.
I don't. Let's stick with best films from now on. I'm traumatized by this countdown here. I had to relive some bad memories.
We're gonna do the top 10 best Mariah Carey films next week.
She's been in what 3 movies? She's in Glitter and what?
Glitter.
And Precious. And Precious.
Precious, and she was in You Don't Mess with the Zohan.
Yeah, and Glitter and something else. There's another one. There's 4, I think, that I could come up with. But
let's not say we did.
Okay. Maybe later if she gets a body of work. So anyway, that was our top 10 tonight. Now you guys are going to go in. I'm going to go dark for a second, but I want to have you guys handle this out. You do what you got to do. I'll be right back.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, coming up here pretty soon. We got the Oscars coming, so my boy Steve Mesa of Mesa Mania. Oh, wow, that really did go dark. Went off. So we're going to talk the Oscars here. Steve, what will you start off, man? What you looking forward to? What you thinking?
Well, we had this conversation before, and I'm looking forward to proving you wrong. And Maria Barkovla is going to get nominated for Best Supporting
Bakalova.
She's not Italian.
It's Bakalova.
Yeah, Barkalova. She's going to get nominated for Best Supporting Actress. And we had this conversation. You are going to be wrong, my friend. You are going to be wrong once again.
$5.
$5. Bet. I'll see you next. Where is it? $5. I'll see you March 20th.
All right. We got 9 days away. We'll know the nominations. Do you know where it airs?
Probably on whatever website that they're gonna run it through. So like Deadline
website.
Hollywood. Yeah. Oh, the streaming, or you mean the actual ceremonies?
Oh yeah, I'm talking about when does it air the ceremony? Yeah.
Oh, that's a good question. I assume late March somehow. Let me see if I can find it in my little calendar here.
I can look it up. We can save it for a second.
Oh, it's something. It's I don't know where is it. Where is somewhere here? Where is it? Somewhere. Hold on. Don't mind me. I don't know what it is.
All right. So what do you got for Best Actor, my man? Best Actor.
Best Actor, I've got Chadwick Boseman for Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. I got Anthony Hopkins for The Father, Riz Ahmed for Sound of Metal, Gary Oldman for Mank, and Steve Yeun for Minari. Those are my picks for nominations for Best Actor.
I still think you got to include Delroy Lindo for Defy Bloods. I think there's a good chance he's still got to get some love. And my dark horse, Ben Affleck for The Way Back.
Yeah, get out of here with your Ben Affleck.
By the way, the Oscars is Sunday, April 25th this year.
Jesus Christ, so freaking late.
Well, they're probably waiting and hoping they can actually do maybe as big of a ceremony as they can, you know? They're pulling a mania. They're pulling a mania. Well, we talk about the dudes. Let's talk about the women. Who you got for actress?
Carey Mulligan, Promising Young Women. Viola Davis, Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. Frances McDormand, Nomadland. Vanessa Kirby for Pieces of a Woman. And here's a person that came out of nowhere, but in my opinion, it's going to get nominated. Andrea Day as Billie Holiday in The United States versus Billie Holiday.
All right, sounds good. Sounds good. The only one I'll maybe try to throw in, the future Mrs. Owens, Kate Winslet for Animite. I think could always get some love. She's a former winner. Don't you do combo motembo me? You might.
I only
she
say
might.
that because she has not won a claim at all for that role this past award season. That's why I'm doing the
Sons of bitches.
Mutombo, the finger, the Mutombo finger. No. But
How about
we'll agree to disagree. We'll agree.
In the supporting category, what you got for acting?
All right, for supporting actor, I've got the frontrunner, in my opinion, Daniel Kaluuya for Judas and the Black Messiah. Leslie Odom Jr. as Sam Cooke in One Night in Miami. Sacha Baron Cohen in The Trial of Chicago 7. Paul Raci in The Sound of Metal. That's Best Supporting Actor.
I'm sorry, give it to me again after Paul Raci. Who was your last?
Chadwick Boseman, once again for The Five Bloods.
Yeah, I hope Boseman is, obviously I love him, but I hope he gets it for the other one and they give some love to someone else, because as much as he's good in The Five Bloods, there's other bigger performances in that than him. Stuff I would love to see, maybe get a shout out. Bill Murray, I think Dutch would agree with me on that, for On the Rocks. And then the other one I like to mention, Stanley Tucci for Supernova. I love me some Tucci, so I think those are possibilities.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. For supporting actress, I got Yeon Jung Yoon for Minari, Olivia Colman for The Father, Maria Bakalova for Borat's subsequent movie sequel film, Amanda Seyfried in Mank, and Glenn Close in Hillbilly Elegy.
I don't know about that Hillbilly one. That one I think might get skipped over. I think he might have to show some love to Ellen Burstyn for Pieces of a Woman.
Mm-hmm.
I think she very well could get in.
Fair.
Also, Dominic Fishback. We're talking about Judas and the Black Messiah. She's also really good in that too.
Fair. Yeah, they could pull I can definitely see Ellen Bernstein replacing Glenn Close, and I could also see Dominic getting that nomination as a surprise nomination, especially getting the amount of nominations it has gotten and the love from the critics and everybody in the Hollywood. So let's should we also start with before we move on to director and picture? Let's also talk about adapted screenplay and original screenplay.
I was going to say that's what I was trying to make a G with my other hand. What do you got for original screenplay?
Original screenplay, I have the Trial of Chicago 7, Promising Young Women, Minari, Mank, and Sound of Metal. One of these will not be a Best Picture nomination. We'll talk about that a little later on.
I would absolutely love to see, because the screenplay is always one where I think you have a dark horse that gets love for the screenplay and nothing else. Palm Springs.
Yeah, I would love to see that happen too. I will also love to see Pigs Fly.
It's possible, man. Like I said, you have like stuff like Eternal Sunshine, stuff like Margin Call. I'm trying to think. Like sometimes you have those fun ones in there that don't get love.
I'll tell you, I'm going to tell you straight up. I am surprised that nobody's talking about Never, Rarely, Always, Sometimes, or the other way around. Never, Rarely, Sometimes, Always. That had so much. I mean, it's a great movie from last year, and it had so much love going into it. And unfortunately, it seems like that it has dropped in terms of that. I would have seen that as a dark horse for the original screenplay.
What do you got for adapted screenplay?
Adapted screenplay, I got Nomadland, One Night in Miami, The Father, Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, and The Black Horse, and one of the surprises, News of the World.
I'm going again. I just mentioned Eternal Sunshine. You mentioned this movie before with Jesse Plemons. I'm thinking of Ending Things. Could get that nod. That's my other pick.
Yeah, maybe it could possibly be that. Shall we transition to Best Animated Feature?
We shall.
All right. So
I may participate in this one.
All right, sweet, sweet, sweet. All right. So my prediction for the nomination would be Wolfwalkers. In my opinion, the probably the best animated film of 2020. We also have Soul. Some would argue on that for that on behalf. Over the Moon, Onward, and The Croods: A New Age.
You know, I the only one I don't agree with you on is The Crew, The New Age. Again, it's probably going to be nominated. I'm not going to say it won't, because I think that's, out of all of them, you could have Earwig and the Witch. You could have that one.
That's my prediction. I think that's going to get the nod over Crude's Earwig.
And somehow
Crude's is a sequel. Yeah.
And somehow a whisker away. I would love to see an anime somehow jump into there, but it's not going to happen. But I think, I think the Earwig has a better chance. But I think that'll be the toss up between the Crude and Earwig. I think, I agree with the other pieces that
original and it's Ghibli. I think Earwig's going to get it because I think just based on the fact the other one's a sequel, I think already has like a less of a chance. Just like Maria Baklava being in a sequel.
She's gonna get nominated for an Oscar, and you give me that $5.
And I'm gonna owe you $5, aren't I? Shit.
Yes, you are.
All right. Well, hey, you're a director sometimes, Steve. What you got for directing?
All right. So I know for sure Chloe Zhao is gonna get nominated for Nomadland.
Dutch's favorite.
I know for sure Lee Isaac Chung is gonna get nominated for Minari. I know for sure David Fincher is gonna get nominated for Mank. Because you cannot get nominated for an Oscar if you're not making a movie about Hollywood, let alone Hollywood's greatest movie of all time, Citizen Kane. So I'm torn, actually, between three people who would get the final two spots. So I'm going to go with Regina King for One Night in Miami. She made a tremendous directorial debut. It's based on a play. It's about four African American leaders in their own respective worlds: politics, sports, boxing, singing, and it's a great movie too. So, and she does so much with it, and let alone the boxing scene. Just her first, that one of the first scenes in that movie is the boxing scene, and she directs it as good as anybody would direct a boxing in a sports movie, and this is not even a sports movie. So I'm going to give her that fourth nomination. The fifth nomination, I'm going to tell you straight up, I am torn between Aaron Sorkin and Emerald Fennell. But I'm going to go with Emerald Fennell for Promising Young Women. I think after last year and the lack of female representatives in last year's director's race, I think they're going to go with her over Sorkin. Sorkin's probably going to get a nod too with the original screenplay. That's why I didn't put him in the director as possibly getting that nomination for Best Director, because he's going to get nominated for Best Original Screenplay and possibly win.
The two I'll throw in there, I think Paul Greengrass from News of the World has a chance. He's been nominated before for Best Director. And also, too, Shaka King, Judas Black Messiah. That was a great-looking film. And another category that needs to be included here as well. And never totally skip out on Spike Lee either, a fellow former nominee. So there's several choices.
The Spike Lee one, I'll jump in on that one. As you know, I'm not a very big fan. But the Five Bloods, to me, he deserves one on this one. I mean, literally, I love this movie from top to bottom. Again, I just think he deserves this one. I think if he's going to get one, he's going to have a tough climb. Don't get me wrong, but give him a nod. At least.
Unfortunately, I think it had lost its luster in terms of the award season. It's lost attraction. I think the only chance that it has is a possible surprise Delroy Lindo nomination.
That's what I'd love to see. Yes.
And in my opinion, I was telling Jordan earlier, I think Chadwick Boseman is going to get nominated twice, for the Five Bloods and for Ma Rainey's Black Bottom.
Yeah, and I agree. I think I heard some part of that. I think where I think Ma Rainey would be better for Boseman to win,
right,
and
true.
Open up the Five Blood spot. But again, you never know Hollywood; they might just do both.
That's true. I guess we're here in the last category, Best Picture, ladies and gentlemen. Best Picture. I believe there's going to be 8 nominations this year. 8 nominations only. I believe last year was 9, and the year before that was also 9, or I think one of the other years was 10 also. So I think I'm going to go with 8 films that'll be nominated. Possibly I'll give you my 10, but these are the 8 films that'll definitely get nominated. Nomadland, Trial of Chicago 7, Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, Minari, One Night in Miami, Mank, The Father, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's it. 8 films. I believe those are going to be the 8 films that are going to get nominated. Nomadland, Trial of Chicago 7, Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, Minari, One Night in Miami, Mank, The Father. Oh wait, I'm missing one. You know what? I'm going to throw in. F it. Let's throw in Judas and the Black Messiah.
Yeah, that's gonna be the thing I was about to say. I think that is enough traction. I think that could very much get in. I think News of the World again is a possibility. It's out there, and there's a couple other ones as well. But yeah, Judas Black Messiah is one I would.
What about the dark horse called Jiu-Jitsu with Nicolas Cage?
You can leave now.
No.
Hey, I didn't mean it.
I'm back. I'm just messing with you. I still want to see Nicolas Cage get nominated this year.
Something. Yeah, so that's our Oscar predictions. That's basically the crux of why I'm here to dole out my Oscar nominations and hopefully get the $5 I'm gonna get March 20th. What's happening March 20th, Jordan? What's happening March 20th? Something's happening. That's
yeah, I'm running a show in Ave Maria, Florida, and then later on that night I'll be at the PPW Platinum Pro Fair Show. So yeah, that's what I'm doing March 20th.
Moses, I totally did not know that. Yeah, I totally was not going to appear at one of those shows and not receive $5 from you.
Yeah, you should. You're not that far.
It's a tiny bit of a drive. I mean, it's on the other side of the coast. What do you expect?
Whatever. No, it's not.
Yes, it is. For me, I live on the opposite side of you.
How far are you from Ave Maria?
Very bleeping far.
Bullschneister. We'll talk about it like that later.
Naples is just as far as Ave Maria.
All right. What you got, Dutch?
I have nothing but, you know what I have? You have to tell me some stuff because I need to know about news and notable stuff. I need to get my news on. You're the man I come to. So fill me up with some news. Other than the one thing I do want to say is Eddie Murphy is contemplating on doing a Coming to America 3. So, dear God, talk him off the ledge, everybody. Talk him off the ledge.
He's the kind of guy that's going to be hurt enough that these reviews suck, and I'm sure he's already been off that ledge. I'm sure he's right now going, I liked it. All right, so news and notes of the week. And Steve, look up some news. If you got any news, feel free to throw it out once I'm done here. Box office this week. Box office. We talked about The Croods earlier. In its 15th week, made another $780,000. Bringing it to $53 million at the box office. Number 4, Steve, where's our screener of Boogie? It made $1 million in its first week. I want to watch Boogie.
Yeah, things happened.
Number 3.
Yeah, things happened.
Chaos Walking.
Chaos Walking.
Man, Christopher. Wow. We should see that this weekend.
Cowbell.
$3 million in its first week. Number 2, Tom and Jerry in its second week made $6 million, bringing that to $22 million. And number 1, Raya and the Last Dragon, which I might have a review for next time we're here. In its first week, made $8 million. Lots of cancellations, some shifts, some renewals. Supergirl will be airing its 6th and the final
right? Shifts season. And not the other word. It's not shifts, right?
And back to mute. Supergirl will be airing its 6th and final season on March 30th. Billy Eichner's rom-com Bros is set for an August 2022 release. This is the first openly gay man to write and co-star in his own major studio film. So look for that. I'm a big Billy Eichner fan. Billy on the Street, Check it out. The FX drama Pose is ending with season 3 this year. A Quiet Place 2 has actually moved up. It was slated for September 17th. Now we're getting it May 28th, supposedly. Amy Adams' film, The Woman in the Window, is set to premiere on Netflix on May 14th. This is another delayed movie that was set for theaters at one point. Fast 9 or Furious 9, or one of those Fast or Furiouses, is pushed from May 28th to June 25th. Joseph Gordon-Levitt, Cynthia Erivo, and Keegan-Michael Key have been added to the live-action Pinocchio film. The Simpsons, that little cartoon that still keeps on chugging, has been renewed for 2 more seasons. And speaking of renewals, here's an odd one. Party Down is set to return for a season 3. Party Down was canceled in 2010. So they're reviving it for stars. The original cast included the likes of Adam Scott, Jane Lynch, Martin Starr, Ken Marino, Ryan Hansen, Megan Mullally, and Lizzie Kaplan. I like the series a lot. I've seen every episode, I think, twice, because there's only 20 of them. And they always had great guest stars, too. J.K. Simmons, Enrico Colantoni, so many great guest stars. Kristen Bell was on it as well. So I'm looking for that coming back. And today, the final news from me is Creed 3. Michael B. Jordan now is stepping behind the director's chair, and we're seeing that November of 2022. So we've had a different director every time we've had a Creed outing. This time, the star, kind of a la Sylvester Stallone himself, is stepping behind the lens. So we'll see how good he is as a director.
Is he going to find Mr. T's son?
Sure.
Or Hulk Hogan's son. Thunderlips coming back.
Thunderlips Jr., played by John Cena.
That'd be great. I'd like to see that.
Played by Chris Hemsworth, who's playing Hulk Hogan in the biopic.
Let me tell you something, brother.
I got some Oscar news. Since we were talking Oscars, they are going March 15th. They're going to come out and they're going to do a 2-part live presentation on Monday, March 15th. Oh God, I'm also bad with names. Nick Jonas and his wife Pranika Chopra Jones are going. What's her name? Help me out.
I think Chopra.
Yeah, Chopra. Yeah, but I can't remember his first name. I can't say it. So, but anyway, the missus, Priyanka, Chopra Jones and Nick Jonas are going to announce the Academy Award nominees. On March 5th. So if you're on the Pacific time, wake up at 5:19 because that's when they're starting. If you're in Hollywood, but if you're on the East Coast, it's 8 o'clock. We're okay. So that's my my news on that. And Kenneth Branagh is set to direct the Bee Gees biopic for Paramount. So if you're a big fan of the Bee Gees, Kenneth Branagh is putting them on the film for you. So there you go. There's my few things. And where do you guys stand on the Powerpuff Girls live action show? What do you guys think about that?
It's an odd one to do in live action, but I mean, if you got the right writers behind it and the right cast, I guess it's an odd one to do in live action.
Yeah, because they found their leads: Chloe Bennett, Dove Cameron, and Yana Peralt are joining the show. They will all be part of the Powerpuff Girls.
Now I'm a little confused. Actually, Chloe Bennett, isn't she kind of older?
It's set in the future.
So it's
not girls. It's Powerpuff women. Like I like it even less.
Yeah,
these are the three leads they chose at CW. So they've cast the 3.
CW bullshit. I'm out. Fuck it. No. Now I hate it.
But it's live. It's live action. So that's what they're up to for that. So we know where you stand on this. So it's going to be probably the best there ever is. And of course, what this show would be without any Zack Snyder news. If anybody tried to watch over the weekend, Tom and Jerry, you may have been lucky enough. Thank God I did. I've already seen it, so I didn't even try to watch it. But you could get an hour. Most people got an hour of the new JLA cut. Good, and no one's ever actually talked about it. One guy said he did watch it, and that's all he could say because I guess it wasn't that good. So I'm thinking we're getting good buzz, people. Good buzz for an hour.
Kevin Smith said he liked it, so.
Yeah, well, did he watch it? He watched it already, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, he's good. He's buzzed with Snyder, so yeah.
Yeah. So, anyway, makes me want to figure out if Kevin Smith is my good list or not. But
Also
no,
really like Coming to America, so he likes a lot of things.
yeah, he's just being very nice to everybody. But yeah, so anyway, that took place, and pretty soon that you'll be able to watch that again on HBO Max. I think this month, right? Sometime this month.
Yeah, March 18th, I believe.
Thank you, March 18th. I knew it was coming soon.
March 18th, about a week later, we'll see Kong versus Godzilla. 2 weeks later, we'll see Mortal Kombat. Woo!
I tell you, man, I can't wait for the Godzilla film. But again, the Zack Snyder deal. I would like to just talk to somebody and tell me why I should care about Zack Snyder ever. But I really want somebody to convince me to really care for him. So anyway, that's all I got for you.
Ben Affleck as Batman is the bomb, and we get to see more of him.
I do like him as Batman, so I wish I would have saw more of him. But when I say more of him, outside the Snyderverse, so we'll see. But anywho, I will digress. Anything you got over there, Steve, that you want to plug? Anything you're doing or you watching that so somebody wants to know about if your television show?
No, really got not much to do, not much to say, not much to do aside from I'm doing wrestling things this weekend. Besides that, not much. Okay. Not really doing much in terms of the movie world, so I don't really have anything to bring to the table except for those mini reviews that I brought and my Oscar prediction.
Which we're going to hold you to those Oscar predictions, and we're going to have you on the show, I believe, thereafter to go over what you missed and what you did get right. So that's a good thing we'll have to do. Jordan, I know you got some stuff coming. Give me some stuff that people should look forward to.
Well, yeah, you can plug whatever you want, Steve. You can plug all your Mesa Media stuff as well, because, we just talk about whatever we're doing in life. You can catch me tomorrow or by the time you see this later on today, at the Buffalo Room. What is it called? I don't know. I'll be somewhere with Jeff Hardy tomorrow, so that'll be fun. One of the sponsors for that event. March 20th, we're in Ave Maria. Later on that night, we'll be there for Platinum Pro. 6 shows in one weekend for Platinum Pro over at the fair. Looking forward to that. We'll be doing this show. Of course, we'll always do some movie trivia on this channel as well with Steve Mesa. He's the current champion.
I also believe there's some stuff happening some stuff is popping in Tampa. There's some things happening.
Tampa's coming up here pretty soon.
There's some things happening in Tampa, right? I mean,
a month away, April 10th.
Not really sure what it's something Mania.
April 9th. Well, I don't care about Mania. I care about April 9th.
I'm talking about the weekend itself, sir. Jesus Christ, you don't have to talk about the damn show.
I'm trying to. If you let me get a damn word into my own
Let's
show.
Go.
April 9th. And muted. April 9th, Egypt Shrine, noon. I believe we'll also be on Fight TV, so you can actually catch it at home if you'd like. Dutch, I better see your number on the list of people that caught it.
I will give you an obligatory money buy.
I will be there live, my friend.
Yeah, I can't.
Oh, and then later on that day at 4 p.m., he's hosting wrestling trivia over at the Egypt Shrine as part of the GCW collective. Not that, I'm sorry, wrong collective. At the other GCW.
You're the GCW that you're taking in.
Whoops.
Here.
So many things.
Yeah. And
I will be winning an AEW ring signed by Jericho and many other people.
Oh, okay. Location questions for Jordan.
No. Well, don't screw me over. I want to win. I want to be cocky and win.
I want to win.
So, okay. I don't have anything to plug, which is just what I do. I show up wherever. If you see me on the street, you can say hi.
You're gonna walk the earth like kung fu.
Yeah, take the stone, buddy. Take the stone. Let's do that. But yeah, I'm working. I'm finally getting a little bit better for the show that I'll be launching. We're getting artwork done and stuff, so this is going to be fun. And Jordan, you're slated to be on that show, but just as a guest, so I could cut you off at any time. And then, it's going to be fun, I think. I'll get more jazzed up whenever we start launching the site and making everything happy. So, but yeah, we're getting very close, and I'm very nervous, and I hope it's well received. So, because we're not going to be on YouTube's, we're going to probably be on Spotify's and other things as well. So, wherever you find your best podcast, you can find me. I hope, if it works. So, but yeah, this is what we're doing. So anyway, okay. So other than that, I think that should do it, right? I think we're all good. It's time to go to bed, everybody.
I see time to go to bed. Just one quick question. All right, I'm going to do my little quick thing. Mesa Media 1 at Twitter. Mesa Media Facebook. Steve Mesa at Twitter. Steve Mesa on Facebook. Don't send any weird messages to me, please. Unless you want to. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. YouTube, FIU Student 85. That's all I already got. Trivia's happening at Mania Weekend, 4 p.m. at the Egyptian Shrine Center in the community room, I believe.
That sounds right.
Yeah, sounds right. I'll be writing a whole bunch of geography wrestling questions for Jordan there, and and no, I don't know. We'll see what happens with that. Yeah, that's all I got for you guys. And thank you for having me on here. I really appreciate the invite, and hope to do this again sometime.
Absolutely. Like I said, we'll get you on. Maybe not next week or so, but we'll get you on so we can discuss your picks and what you got right, what you got wrong. But I'm thinking you sounded like you got some good stuff.
Who won the $5? So
yeah, $5, and
we know who won that.
I'm gonna frame it right behind me, just right here. I'm gonna put it right behind me. This $5 was given to me by Mr.
I'll autograph it for you.
Okay, so with all that, $5 is on the line, so that'll keep you guys entertained and wanting more. So that I guess we're going to wrap it up. I'm Dutch McAllister, along with my tag team colleague, who just seems to always, we never win the belts, but we always come up short just a little bit, Jordan Owens. And we thank our guests.
What was that horrible outro for me?
we're tag team colleagues who come up short just a little bit every time on the tag team belts. But that was all we were going to say. But that's Jordan Owens. And thank you to our guest, Steve Mesa, for putting up with Jordan, as always. So thank you all. And
Lord, I didn't know that turned into a roast for Jordan. Jesus Christ.
Enjoy the evening. Enjoy your day. And don't forget, Jordan, what do you always say to them out there, those kids that they think they love me or something?
Well, like, subscribe, do all the usual YouTube bibble babble, and don't forget, hey, we love you more than you'll ever know.
God, that's such a lie, but that's okay.
And mute, and I get the last word. Love you.